Hey y'all, welcome back. For this video, I am going to be walking you through my beginner-friendly nail prep routine using only hand tools, so basically that means there will not be an e-file in sight. This video is sponsored by Esmeo, so I will be using their products throughout the video once again, and of course, everything will be listed in the description box down below. Let me tell you everything you're going to need. First thing is a nail clipper, a file, you can use a glass one or something like this one here, a brush to keep the dust out of the way, a cuticle pusher, I have a metal one, but you can also use an orange wood stick for this, some cuticle nippers, but this is going to be optional and we will talk about that later on in the video, a buffer, some alcohol, but it's much easier to use an alcohol prep pad, a cuticle softener, a dehydrator, and lastly, some primer. Lifting and chipping can happen for different reasons, and of course, how you prep your natural nails can be one of them. Each step in the prep process is going to be a major key in retention, and for me, that starts with shaping. Taking a look at my nails here, they are different lengths, different shapes, so let's go ahead and get them together. Taking my clippers, I am going to trim down my natural nails because I want to start from scratch. I'm trimming down quite a bit, but I do want to leave a small amount because I really want to go from a square to a rounder shape, and I do need some length so that I can reshape them. After trimming down my nails, I am going to go in with my file, but I will be using a glass file. However, if you don't have one, that's okay because you can use something just like this. Just make sure that whatever file you're using isn't lower than 180 grit. You'll notice that I am moving in these long strokes, and I just find it easier to stay in one direction to make sure the shape is coming into form the way I would like it to. When you are filing, don't try to get it done faster by going aggressively in a back and forth motion similar to what I'm doing here, because even though it may not break the nail, it could cause friction and stress right at the free edge, and we wouldn't want that either. I also like to flip my nail upside down to make sure I'm not accidentally filing into the skin here. It's very sensitive, at least mine is, and it's uncomfortable if you hit it. So I just want to make sure that there's enough nail to cover that. After shaping, of course, there is quite a bit of dust here. So I'm going to be taking this brush and removing it and getting it out of my way. I like to do it across the nail plate, my skin, and the palm just to make sure there's nothing lingering behind. Here is what we have so far. I will say I really like this length and shape on my natural nails, and I may keep it this way for a while, but I'll come back in with an update eventually. But let's go ahead and keep going. Next, I'm using this product here to loosen the cuticle, aka the non-living tissue at the base of the nail, so that I can gently remove it. When you are applying this, do your best to keep it around the base of the nail. This product has a brush, so it makes that a little bit easier, but try not to get it on your fingers or your palm. Let's say you don't soften and remove the non-living cuticle tissue from the nail plate, and instead you just go directly in with your product. So whether that's gel polish, gel X, whatever you so choose, what's going to happen is the product can lift because it's adhering to tissue instead of the nail. After applying this, I am going to let it sit for 1 minute. And then 1 minute later, I'm going to gently use a metal cuticle pusher. However, if you're not comfortable with this, you can use an orange wood stick. Just make sure you are using the flat side though. What I like to do is start on one side and push back slowly, come upwards a little bit and go to the other side and do the exact same thing, and then finish up in the center. And if I need to do a little bit more, I will just repeat these steps. The goal is just to clear the cuticle from the nail plate without scraping or causing any trauma. So be careful, be gentle, use light pressure, and move slowly. I have not sped these clips up at all because I really wanted you all to see how slow I actually go when I'm using the cuticle pusher. This tool is double-sided, so I am going to flip it to the curve in and use this to get that dead tissue off of the nail plate. At this point, majority of it is raised and it's fairly easy to just brush off with this, but if there are areas that are stickier, a little troublesome, I will use light pressure. I'm not scraping the nail, I'm just using it to kind of brush it off. You don't want to cause any scratches or dents, so you do want to be careful with this. I know this tool isn't necessarily super sharp, but keep in mind, like any tool we use on the natural nail, this does still need gentle light pressure. So we have that pretty much off the nail plate at this point, so let's go ahead and with some alcohol. I'll be using an alcohol prep pad, and as you can see, this comes in a set of 2. We only need 1 at this point. And I'm just going to wipe this across the nail plates, making sure to get all of that gunk out of the way. So let's talk about these cuticle nippers for a second. This is designed to be used to remove that loose, non-living tissue from the nail plate. Basically, what you just saw me remove in the previous clips. This is going to be completely optional, so if you're not comfortable with it, it's okay to completely skip it. After using the cuticle softener and the pusher, the amount of tissue left behind on the nail plate can vary from person to person. For me, I don't have anything that I need to nip from the nail plate, but as I turn my nail to the side, you can see this small hangnail, so I'm going to use it for that. But I'm going to do so carefully to make sure I don't cut myself. Next, I'm going to buff the nail plate using the essential buffer here. This is going to smooth out any ridges, but also create this slightly roughened surface, which is going to allow the products we apply afterwards to adhere properly. But you do want to be careful not to over buff because that can thin out the nail plate if you do too much, which of course we don't want that. When you're buffing, make sure you do the entire nail surface. It's very easy to accidentally forget the corners, so what I like to do is rotate the nail, and any shiny parts, that's where I will do a little bit more buffing. To make sure I'm getting the edges and the corners, I like to use the very tip of the buffer. Sometimes I'll even pull the skin back so that I can get into those corners nice and easy. So you'll see this area right here is still shiny, and that's because I just missed it with my buffer. So I am going to pull the skin back, use the corner of the buffer, and get right into those sides. If I were to leave those corners shiny and unbuffed, when I applied my product afterwards, it could have actually lifted in those areas. So that's something else to keep in mind when doing natural nail prep. Let's go ahead and remove this dust out of the way that was kicked up basically from using the buffer. Don't forget to get those palms underneath your nails as well as the nail plate. Then I'm going to take the second alcohol prep pad and run it across my nail plate because I need to get these nails ready for my next product, which is my dehydrator. I'm going to take this dehydrator here to remove any remaining oils or moisture on the nail. This step is important because a clean, dry nail plate ensures that the products we apply next will adhere properly and last longer. After using my dehydrator, I am going to go in with a primer. This helps create a chemical bond between your nail plate and the product you're going to be using after. Only apply a thin, even layer to your nails because if you apply too much primer, it can actually bubble up and cause lifting as well. Also, make sure to only apply this to your nail plate and do not get this on the skin. Let it dry down for a few seconds, and now your nails are fully prepped and ready for whatever you're applying next. If you need some ideas, be sure to check out one of these videos here, but in the meantime, I will see you in the next one.